Hello everyone, welcome to the session and my name is Davinder. Can you please confirm that everything is fine with my audio and video so that we can start with the session? Yes, you can hear me properly. Can you please confirm once? Okay, great. Thanks for the confirmation. So in today's session, we are, wait, okay. Yes. So in today's session, we are going to start with these three news. Okay. These three news are really very important from your exam point of view. One news is related to your RBI. RBI have given one norm, we can say one guideline which was related to CMI. CMI stand for Capital Market Intermediaries. Now, these guidelines were released in say February and we haven't covered that. So we are covering it now. Along with that, this circular is in news right now. Why? Because the impact is huge. The impact of these circulars are huge on private banks. So we are going to understand what is the actual impact of these guidelines over these private banks. Then we have another news which is talking about the SEBI's guideline for custodians. So this is a complete new news that has been recently came in the newspaper, and they are talking about the custodians, and there are some new guidelines are there, and they have finally issued it, or we can say they are finalized by the SEBI. Then we have latest news of the RBI. They have given the data for the third quarter of POP for the financial year 26. So we are going to discuss these data as well. Again, important here. Then questions we will discuss at the end of the session. Now, the RBI released the rules for the CMIs. CMIs, as I told you, these are capital market intermediaries. Capital market intermediaries. What these intermediaries do? They help us, that is, investors, buy and sell the security. They might help us in storing the security. They might also help us in depositing or collateral facilities as well. Now, these capital intermediaries, the examples are stockbroker, custodians, or what else? Depositories, right? All these are your capital market intermediaries. Now, what used to happen earlier that RBI banned banks from giving loans to these CMIs, because if these CMIs are not able to pay back the loan to the bank, in that case banks are going to suffer the loss, and there is a systemic risk because stock market is not working well for these CMIs. They are not able to pay back to the banks. So SEBI, RBI wants to avoid this systemic risk, and that is the reason earlier RBI said that we are not going to provide loans to these CMIs for their trading activities, right? For their trading activities. This was the case earlier, but now SEBI has said that, the RBI has said that we can work on it. That means we can allow banks to give loans to the CMI on some condition and with some restrictions. Okay, so these new rules mainly deal with these three sections. The first one is loan against the financial security. If they give us shares in return of that loan, we can provide them loan. Loans for company acquisition. Suppose I am a company, I want to buy some equity shares of another company, right? I can be provided with some loan by the bank. Okay, there are some restrictions, we will read that. And then loans to stock market intermediaries. Again, they are talking about these intermediaries, that is CMI. Again, there are some restrictions. Again, there are some, we can say, limitations. These are going to be effective from 1st April 2026, and agenda was to reduce the risk in the banks and in the stock market as well, because कोई systemic risk ना आए at the banking level. Let us move ahead. First one is regarding the acquisition finance rule. Acquisition का मतलब है when one company buys the shares, equity shares, especially इक्विटी शेयर्स ऑफ सम अदर कंपनी, राइट? सम अदर कंपनी के ये क्या कर रहे हैं? शेयर्स खरीद रहे हैं. दैट प्रोवाइड्स देम the power to acquire the company and own the company, right? This is acquisition financing. Financing becomes when they own or they borrow loan, or we can say money from the bank in order to do this such acquisition, right? This becomes acquisition financing. Now bank, as per this rule, now banks can now give loans to these companies so that they can buy the other companies, buy the equity shares of other companies. But bank says there are some limitation. There is a need that the company should be very strong. That means the company's minimum net worth should be more than, or we can say minimum 500 crore होनी चाहिए या फिर इससे ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. It should be more than that. Or in past 3 years they must have earned some profit, right? So these two are the condition in order to ensure that the company is strong enough to pay back the loan to the bank. First thing. Then if the company is unlisted, in that case their credit rating must be more than triple B, right? What are the limitation? Even after having a strong company, even after ensuring that the company is strong, they are saying they must need to follow these restriction or limitation. The first one is the bank can fund a maximum of 75% of the acquisition amount. Suppose this company 1 wants to buy shares of company 2 and they are planning to buy a shares of say 100 crore, right? So in that case, bank can lend them only 75% of it. 75% of this, that means 75 crore only, right? Now the next one is debit limit. That means debt limit. Their debt to equity ratio. Debt to equity ratio क्या होता है? What is the, you can say, formula for this is debt divided by the total equity, right? Your debt cannot be more than this ratio, that is 3:1. We can say guideline want to ensure that this particular company is not highly leveraged, or we can say highly debt burden nahi hai with a lot of debt. This is what we need to avoid, because we do not want this company to be burdened with debt so that they are not even able to pay back the loan. These are the restrictions that they have to follow, right? There is one condition as well. Condition is that loan must be secured by shares of the acquired company or some other asset or the corporate guarantee. Even if you are providing with some limitation, यानी कि आपको लोन कम दिया जा रहा है, बहुत ही लिमिटेड लोन दिया जा रहा है, उसके बावजूद भी देयर इज अ कंडीशन कि उसके रिगार्डिंग भी आपको क्या देना पड़ेगा? कोलैटरल देना पड़ेगा. क्या देना पड़ेगा? कोलैटरल देना पड़ेगा. दैट मीन्स you have to put some kind of asset, you have to give some kind of asset against the loan that you have taken from the bank, so that bank has some security against that loan. That can be acquired share, जिस कंपनी के आपने शेयर खरीदे हैं, आप उस कंपनी के शेयर्स दे दीजिए, या फिर कोई भी अदर एसेट्स दे दीजिए, से कैश, एफडी और कॉर्पोरेट गारंटी. If other company gives a guarantee against you that if this company is not able to pay, I'll pay that. Then what kind of securities they are going to accept, right? So this is very important. What are the eligible securities that we can accept under this CMI norm? These are shares, these are mutual fund, both equity and debt mutual fund accept किए जा रहे हैं यहाँ पर. Government securities, ETFs, REITs, InvITs के दोनों units, and debt security which is having a credit rating of triple B or more. Along with that, sovereign gold bonds are also acceptable at this CMI norms. Loans against securities. Now there is a LTV, that is loan to value. Loan to value का formula क्या होता है? Loan amount divided by the value of security. Let's take an example just to make you understand. Hypothetical example लेते हैं. I say that I want a loan from a bank. ठीक है, मुझे लोन चाहिए बैंक से, and I'm going to give my sovereign gold bonds as a collateral to bank. ठीक है, मैं अपने sovereign gold bonds दूंगी as a collateral to bank. Now bank says yes, these are eligible securities. How much are we can say sovereign gold bonds you are giving to us? That is 100 crore. मैंने 100 crore तक के आपको दे दिए हैं बैंक को. हम कह सकते हैं SGBs दे दिए हैं. Now bank says I can give you 60 crore only. I say why? my SGBs are of 100 crore and you are just giving me 60 crore against that. So bank says that this is the LTV that we have to charge. Okay, we cannot give you 100% of the amount against the security. We have to cut some amount, इंश्योरिंग दैट अगर मान लीजिए एसजीबीज ये बॉन्ड्स की वैल्यू कल अगर मार्केट में गिर जाती है, देन हाउ डू दे कवर इट, है ना। इसीलिए वो पहले से ही वो हेयर कट हम कह सकते हैं, हेयर कट पहले से ही वो हम कह सकते हैं काट के चलते हैं अपने साथ, दैट वी आर एक्सपेक्टिंग कि देयर वुड बी अ 40% ऑफ डाउनफॉल इन द एसजीबीज एंड विद दैट वी कैन गिव यू ओनली 60% और वी कैन से 60 करोड़ इन दिस केस एज अ लोन। ठीक है, कोई डाउट हो तो आप इन बिटवीन द क्लास में मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं, राइट। जस्ट लाइक दैट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज के लिए एज पर द बैंक पॉलिसी बैंक विल डिसाइड दैट हाउ मच लोन दे कैन गिव फॉर द म्यूचुअल फंड एक्सक्लूडिंग द डेट म्यूचुअल फंड, क्योंकि डेट म्यूचुअल फंड्स आर वेरी सिक्योर, दे गेट फिक्स्ड रिटर्न, सो दैट इज द रीजन उसके अगेंस्ट ज्यादा लोन मिल सकता है। So excluding debt mutual fund, units of ETFs and REITs and InvITs, the person can get 75% of the amount, depending upon how much collateral they have given to the bank. Debt mutual fund 85%. Triple A bonds, that means they are good rating. They are bonds with good rating. Then 85% of the loan will be allowed, and bonds with double A to triple B bonds credit rating will get 75% of the loan. Right? What should be the loan limit? Loan limit is 1 crore 1%. ठीक है? So this limit is very important. This can be asked in your examination. 1 mark में पूछा जा सकता है, तो इसे याद रखेंगे. But if they are taking loan in order to do stock market trading, in that case the loan limit is 25 lakh only. अगर IPO और FPO में लोन IPO और FPO में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए आप लोन ले रहे हैं फ्रॉम द बैंक, इन दैट केस द मैक्सिमम लोन कैन बी 25 lakh. Borrower must invest 25% on their own money. राइट, इसमें इन्होंने क्या कर दिया दैट आपको मैक्सिमम कितना मिल सकता है लोन 25 lakh. राइट, this can be understood by you. Even if the loan limit is maximum 25 lakh, 25% must be invested by the individual who is trying to buy these IPOs from the market. Suppose we can say 10 crore है, 10 crore के IPOs हैं. The person want to take a loan from the bank. Now bank says I can give you 7.5 crore of loan. Let's just reduce a little bit of amount so that we can make the example suitable for the case. So let's say 10 lakh rupees के हैं IPOs and bank says that I can give you 7.5 lakh of loan in this regard. So they say no, the maximum limit is 25 lakh. Why don't you just pay me the entire 10 lakh rupees? So the bank says no, you have to invest at least 25% of your own money. यानी कि 2.5 lakh आप अपने खुद से invest करेंगे. Otherwise the investor may become we can say misuse the money, and they may say that market didn't work well for me and hence I'm not able to pay you the 10 lakh of money. But if their own money is being involved in the stock market, they will think twice, right? So this is what RBI want to ensure. Bank can lend the companies and CMI using the securities, right? तो वो क्या कह रहे हैं, banks can lend the companies and CMIs using the securities. इसके बारे में हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं कि yes, now they can lend. And कौन से पर्पसेस के लिए लेंड कर सकते हैं, दे हैव स्पेसिफाइड द पर्पसेस एज वेल, दैट इज वर्किंग कैपिटल. बिजनेस पर्पसेस के लिए दे सकते हैं, सेटलमेंट नीड्स के लिए, कोई सेटलमेंट है आपको करनी है, आपकी कोई अग्रीमेंट था, नाउ यू हैव टू सेटल दैट बिजनेस डील, तो उसके लिए दे सकते हैं. मार्जिन ट्रेडिंग के लिए दे सकते हैं. इफ द सीएमआई इज यूजिंग दैट मनी इन ऑर्डर टू ट्रेड इन द सिक्योरिटी मार्केट, in that case they are doing that in order to do speculation or in order to earn some profit from the market. They are saying for that particular purpose you cannot borrow money from us, that the money should be used for business purposes only. business purpose के लिए ही use होना चाहिए. ठीक है, let me see in case you have some kind of doubt. अभी तो कोई doubt तो नहीं है. Okay, ठीक है. Then yes, I told you that the money cannot be used for the speculation purposes, for the purpose of earning profit from the stock market. And there are some restrictions too, even if the CMI is taking loan for these purposes. ठीक है, अगर वो इन पर्पसेस के लिए भी ले रहे हैं, देन देयर आर सम रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. व्हाट आर दीज रिस्ट्रिक्शन? सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दे हैव टू गिव सम काइंड ऑफ गारंटी टू द बैंक. ठीक है. एंड along with that they also have to provide a collateral to the bank. The minimum is 50%. अगर आपने 100 या फिर हम कह सकते हैं 10 करोड़ का लोन लिया है, देन 5 करोड़ तक का आपको क्या देना है, कम से कम कोलैटरल देना ही देना है. आउट ऑफ दिस 5 करोड़ 50% और वी कैन से 25% ऑफ दिस 5 करोड़ मस्ट बी इन कैश, राइट. Then banks cannot give loans for the proprietary trading. That means अगर broker अपने लिए trading कर रहा है और कह रहा है कि ये तो मेरे business का ही part है, right? I do invest in the stock market. I also take part in the stock market, buy and sell the securities. Now bank says even if you are doing proprietary trading, even if you are doing that for your business, I'm not going to provide you loan. ठीक है? That is very clear because they again stock market is very we can say volatile in nature and bank do not want to invest in such risky avenues. So again this is very clear. Proprietary trading के लिए are not allowed. Keep it very simple and very logical also, right? Loans to CMI must have 100% of the collateral. 100% collateral होना चाहिए. 100% collateral backed होनी चाहिए loans. And for the equity shares, if they are buying taking the loan in order to take the equity shares, then equity shares को भी यूज किया जा सकता है as a collateral and 40% हेयर कट होगा उसका. मान लीजिए एक CMI आता है, वो कहता है मुझे लोन दे दीजिए and against that loan they are giving equity shares, right? They are saying equity shares के लिए we are going to have 40% of haircut. That means they can give 60% of the loan of the equity share. If equity share is of 100 crore, then bank can give 60 crore of loan. यानी कि उन्होंने 40% क्या कर लिया, हेयर कट कर लिया. हेयर कट इन टर्मिनोलॉजी इन स्टॉक मार्केट वी कॉल इट एज कि उन्होंने कट कर लिए उतने पैसे या फिर उतना नहीं देंगे. दे आर टेकिंग इट एज अ रिस्क बफर कह सकते हैं, जो वो पहले ही रिमूव कर चुके हैं. इवन इफ द वैल्यू ऑफ दिस शेयर फॉल्स और इंक्रीजेस इन बिटवीन दैट +40 एंड -40, तो उसके लिए उन्होंने अपने आप को पहले ही सेव कर लिया. Earlier banks could lend against the collateral with 25 haircut, 25% haircut. ठीक है. तो पहले ये जो haircut हमने यहाँ पर 40% की बात करी, ये पहले कितना था, 25% था. ठीक है. ये पहले 25% था. Now they have increased it to make it more suitable for the banks and more safer for the banks to invest in the security market. ठीक है. कोई डाउट हो तो आप पूछ सकते हैं. Now what is the impact? हमने पूरी गाइडलाइंस पढ़ ली हैं. Now we are going to understand what is the impact of this. Now see, there are two kind of banks, public bank and private bank. Now private banks are the one who is actually investing in such kind of avenues, calling it as CMIs. They are the one who is giving lot of loans to the CMIs. Public banks are not. This is being the trend that is being seen, that public banks do not give loans to the CMIs. They play very safe, right? They play safe and they do not want to expose themselves to the capital market. Simple. Now private bank says that we are losing a lot of business because 2% of our lending is going to the CMIs, and you have made the CMI norms so restrictive and so we can say limited for us, and we are losing a lot of businesses as well, right? They are saying earlier we used to give proprietary traders, right? Proprietary traders जो हैं, यानी कि जो CMIs हैं, CMIs are doing some kind of proprietary trading, and for that trading they used to provide 30 to 50% of volume to the equity trading, right? Now these were providing some kind of liquidity in the market. ठीक है. कोई ना कोई liquidity provide कर रहे थे, and that was very helpful for the other market participant as well, because now these CMIs are not going to get borrowing from the banks. They are being restricted. Now there will be less participation by these CMIs in the equity market. That will going to reduce the liquidity from the stock market as well. कम participant होंगे तो फिर इक्विटीज में डील करना भी बहुत ज्यादा, हम कह सकते हैं, इलिक्विड हो जाएगा. दैट मीन इट इज गोइंग टू बी डिफिकल्ट फ्रॉम नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स टू बाय एंड सेल द इक्विटी शेयर्स इन द मार्केट, क्योंकि पार्टिसिपेंट कम हो जाएंगे, बिकॉज दीज पीपल आर नॉट गेटिंग लोन्स और वी कैन से मनी फ्रॉम बैंक्स. Earlier banks earned fee income from the issuing bank guarantees to the brokers. Now because of the restriction they are now earning less fee income. पहले क्या होता था that they were earning some kind of fees from giving the guarantees. Now they are being stopped from giving such guarantees to the brokers. And now because of this limitation, their income, one source of income is being lost. We can say lost here, which is again harmful for the private banks, right? I hope you have understood the impact. Right? In case you have any doubt, please tell me in the comments. ठीक है? SEBI guidelines for custodians. SEBI guidelines for the custodians. Now, this is one of the recent news that has been released by the, we can say SEBI. They have finalized the guidelines for the custodians. Who are custodians? What do we mean by custodians? These are the entities which are being registered with SEBI. They are responsible for storing, collecting, and safeguarding your securities, right? Whether they are in demat form or in physical form. ठीक है, doesn't matter. They are being demat form, digital form में है या फिर physical form में है. They are responsible for keeping your security safe with them, right? As you deposit your money with the bank, they are the one who is responsible for keeping your demat, or we can say physical securities, right? Now, SEBI has allowed these custodians companies to offer some financial services that are not directly regulated by the SEBI. Now, see, there are some bank custodians, and then there are some non-bank custodians, right? Bank custodians are the one who is giving banking services as well. Along with that, they are providing you custody service as well. यानी कि आप आईसीआईसी बैंक के पास गए, वो आपके पास आपका जो मनी रखते हैं, आप अपने जो पैसे रखते हैं वो भी उनके पास है, एंड दे आर ऑल्सो प्रोवाइडिंग यू कस्टडी सर्विसेज. दैट मीन्स यू हैव ओपनड अ डीमैट अकाउंट विद दैट आईसीआईसी बैंक एज वेल. सो दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू द बैंकिंग सर्विसेज, दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग यू द कस्टडी सर्विसेज एज वेल, right? Simple. Now, there are some other custodians who are non-bank. They are not providing any kind of banking services, but they are providing you the services of custody, wherein you can keep your security safe with these custodians, right? Now, they are talking about these non-banking custodians. They are saying if these non-banking custodians want to offer any financial services which is not directly regulated by the SEBI, they can provide such services, provided they have opened a different business unit. अपना एक different strategic business unit खोलेंगे अलग से, apart from this custodian which is offering custodian services. ठीक है? Are you understanding my point? Right? So, एक example लेके चलते हैं. मान लीजिए there was a let's remove so that we have some area, right? Suppose we have XYZ Limited, which is a non-banking custodian, right? Now, this non-banking custodian is allowed to offer some financial services which are regulated by the SEBI and financial services which are not regulated by the SEBI, right? Now, these XYZ, first they are offering the custodian services which are regulated by SEBI. They are also providing what? Financial advices to their, we can say to their client, which is also being regulated by SEBI. Simple. Now, this custodian company thought that why don't we just offer insurance products also. Now, insurance products are not regulated by SEBI. It is being regulated by IRDAI. Now, SEBI says even if you want to offer these products, you have to open a different business unit. आपको different business unit maintain करनी पड़ेगी for providing a financial services which is not regulated by SEBI. I hope with this example you are able to understand what exactly I am trying to say. So, limitation is only to the non-banking custodian. That means only non-banking custodians can offer such kind of services which are not regulated by the SEBI. And exclusion is that the custodian which is being owned by the banks, they cannot do such thing. ठीक है, उनके लिए allowed नहीं है. Why? Because they are being already providing a lot of services. Banks banking services भी दे रहे हैं, custodian services भी दे रहे हैं, कुछ ऐसे हैं जो बैंक का इंश्योरेंस सर्विसेज भी दे रहे हैं. That means banking services के साथ इंश्योरेंस भी दे रहे हैं. So they are already under those regulations, which is being regulated by the RBI in this case. So that is the reason only non-banking custodians are taken into account. Now they are talking about the outsourcing. ठीक है, आउटसोर्सिंग वो कह रहे हैं कि आप कौन सी सर्विसेज आउटसोर्स कर सकते हैं. दे आर सेइंग यू कैन आउटसोर्स द सर्विसेज विच आर नॉट योर कोर सर्विसेज. ठीक है, जो सी आपकी नॉन कोर सर्विसेज हैं, दैट मीन्स आपका जो मेन फंक्शन को छोड़कर जो बाकी इधर उधर की सर्विसेज हैं, जैसे कि HR सर्विसेज, IT सर्विसेज, these kind of services can be accessed by doing the outsourcing, by taking the services from the third party agency. You can only go for non-core services. SBU यानी कि separate business unit आपको ओपन करना पड़ेगा. We just talked about. And ठीक है, one business unit would be for the SEBI regulated financial services and other financial services, and the other business unit for the other regulated unregulated financial services. What are the safeguard? Safeguard जो इनको maintain करने हैं, that they have to maintain separate account for both the business unit, and they have to keep separate financial record for again both the business unit, and custodian net worth must be calculated without the counting SBUs. मान लीजिए ये कह रहे कस्टडी की जो नेटवर्थ होनी चाहिए वो 50 करोड़ होनी चाहिए एज पर द सेबी, राइट. हाइपोथेटिकल ले रहे हैं हम, 50 करोड़ होनी चाहिए, राइट. तो दे आर सेइंग हाउ यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग दिस 50 करोड़. दिस 50 करोड़ मस्ट बी कैलकुलेटेड कंसिडरिंग ओनली दिस पार्ट, दैट इज that the business unit that is offering the SEBI regulated services, and you are not going to include the services which are being offered by other financial services custodian. ठीक है, आगे देखते हैं. एक नोट लिखा हुआ है that custodian may share the employees technology infrastructure while maintaining the Chinese wall. Chinese wall का मतलब है आप information barriers को maintain रखेंगे. That means you are not sharing information with each other's business unit. ये दोनों business unit are not sharing any kind of information with each other even if they are falling under the same custodian. ठीक है, आगे चलते हैं. Vault requirement. See, every custodian have to have a vault requirement. Vault requirement किसके लिए चाहिए होता है? Physical securities को maintain करने के लिए. Just like a locker in a bank, the custodian also keep vault in their physical branch wherein they can keep the physical services which are not being yet converted into a demat security. उन्हें digitalize नहीं किया गया है. Now they are saying if a custodian do not have a physical security, in that case they can remove such vaults. ठीक है, वो अपने vault हटा सकते हैं. That vault is not required at all. If you have physical security, then you are required to keep a vault. Earlier it was mandatory for all the custodians to keep the vaults. तो अब सेबी ने लॉजिकल बना दिया, अगर आप फिजिकल सिक्योरिटीज होल्ड करते हैं देन मेंटेन द वॉल्ट, अदरवाइज यू डू नॉट नीड टू डू दैट. टेक्नोलॉजी कैपेसिटी देखते हैं. अब इनको 1.2 टाइम्स ज्यादा करना पड़ेगा टेक्नोलॉजी को एज पर द previous year transaction volume. Whatever was the transaction volume in the previous year, उसका 1.2 टाइम्स अब इन्हें ज्यादा मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा इन ऑर्डर टू डील विद द डिमांड ऑफ द स्टॉक मार्केट और द इन्वेस्टर्स. These are going to be effective from 24 March 2026. Again, very important. And there are two, we can say, different timelines. One is for the wind down framework. Wind down framework बताता है when custodian want to shut down their business. ठीक है, वो shut down करना चाह रहे हैं अपना business. Right? In that case, they need to ensure smooth transition of clients from one custodian to another. Smooth transition from one custodian to another custodian. And they have to ensure it by 23rd September 2026. In case they have lost their data, अगर उन्होंने अपना डेटा लॉस कर दिया, किसी कस्टडियन ने अपना डेटा लॉस कर दिया, दे हैव टू रिकवर द डेटा एट द डिजास्टर रिकवरी डाटा सेंटर बाय 23rd March 2029. right? These are the two another we can say timeline. Here we are with the BOP. ठीक है, BOP की बात करते हैं. What is BOP? What is BOP? BOP stands for balance of payment, right? BOP stands for balance of payment. It keeps the record of all the economic transaction between the country, that is India, between the India and rest of the world. Rest of the world, right? Now this is, let's just understand this BOP, balance of payment, just like that कि आप मान लीजिए एक ह्यूमन है, how much money it gets and how much money it pays, whatever is being left with that person is a BOP. Consider it like that. Okay, so in this case, this person is India, the entire economy, how it is dealing with different kind of, we can say rest of the world. This is how the BOP is being calculated. Okay, इसके साथ हम एक और चीज भी पढ़ लेते हैं. BOP have three main components. The one is current account, कैपिटल अकाउंट जिसे हम फाइनेंशियल अकाउंट भी बोल देते हैं, और लास्ट में है हमारा फॉरेक्स रिजर्व. करंट अकाउंट इज फॉर एक्सपोर्ट एंड इंपोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. कैपिटल अकाउंट इज फॉर एफडीआई, एफपीआई, जितना भी पैसा आपको बल्क में आया है, एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग, राइट, और रेमिटांसेस, जितने भी एनआरआईज हैं उन्होंने कितने पैसे हमारे यहाँ डिपॉजिट करे हैं विद द बैंक्स. फॉरेक्स रिजर्व, हाउ मच फॉरेन करेंसी दैट वी हैव बॉट और सेल, फॉरेन करेंसी, right? These are the main components of BOP. Now, first data that we need to talk about is current account deficit, that is for the third quarter of financial year 26, and we are comparing it with the third quarter of financial year 25, right? So current account deficit have been increased from the previous year, that is it has been increased from 11.3 billion to 13.2 billion dollars. Now this tells that the deficit have been increased, right? And it is currently in a percentage of 1.3% of the GDP. ट्रेड बैलेंसेस, यानी कि हमने कितने गुड्स इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट करे हैं एंड नेट बेसिस पे कितना है. सो वी कैन से दैट इट हैज बीन इंक्रीज, द डेफिसिट हैव बीन इंक्रीज. सी, इट इज अ डेफिसिट, सो वी कैन से दैट वी हैव इंपोर्टेड मोर गुड्स रेदर देन एक्सपोर्टिंग इट. एक्सपोर्ट हमारा लेस है and import हमारे ज्यादा हैं, and that is the reason our deficit stands at 93.6 billion as compared to 79.3 billion in the previous year. Services का देखते हैं. Services is in positive, that means our services receipts have increased, यानी कि we have imported less services and exported high services, right? So currently how much we have? 57.5 billion of net सर्विस रिसीट्स एज कंपेयर टू 51.2 बिलियन. इसके दो रीजंस दिए हुए हैं हमें यहाँ पर, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ द आईटी सर्विसेज. जो ये आईटी सर्विस का सेक्टर है, इट इज परफॉर्मिंग वेल एंड द बिजनेस सर्विसेज आर आल्सो परफॉर्मिंग वेल. बिकॉज ऑफ दीज टू रीजंस आवर सर्विसेज सेक्टर इज परफॉर्मिंग वेल. प्राइमरी इनकम, द नेट प्राइमरी इनकम आउटफ्लो, हाउ मच मनी वी हैव पेड. सी, व्हाट इज द प्राइमरी इनकम? से एनी पर्सन हु इज लिविंग आउटसाइड, से यूएस में रहता है, कनाडा में रहता है, न्यूजीलैंड में रहता है, एंड दे हैव इन्वेस्टेड सम मनी इन इंडियन मार्केट, राइट? नाउ दे आर सपोज टू गेट सम रिटर्न, some percentage of return. That return is being considered as a primary income. Whatever dividend, whatever interest that we are paying them for the investment they made in India is a primary income. तो कितना outflow गया है इस बारी? So outflow यानी कि हमने दिए हैं पैसे, that means it has been reduced. So it has been reduced to 12.2 billion from 16.4 billion. That means we have paid less this time. We have paid less amount or we can say less return to these people living outside India. Remittances, that means the NRIs who invested or deposited their money with the Indian banks, right? So that stands at 36.9 billion as compared to 35.1 billion. So that means that NRIs have transferred more money, say in dollars or in rupees, in Indian banks, which is again good part है हमारे BOP के लिए. फाइनेंशियल अकाउंट से डील करते हैं, दैट इज योर कैपिटल फ्लो, राइट. आई थिंक कैपिटल फ्लो के लिए मैंने यहाँ पर डाला हुआ है कंप्लीट, जिसमें मैंने आपको बताया कैपिटल फ्लो में क्या क्या आ जाता है आपका, एफडीआई, एफपीआई, एनआरआई रेमिटांसेस, एक्सटर्नल कमर्शियल बोरोइंग, दैट मीन्स हाउ मच our Indian companies have borrowed from external entities, that is entities who are at abroad, and foreign exchange reserve कितना है हमारा, राइट. सो एफडीआईज देखते हैं. सो एफडीआईज हैव बीन इंक्रीज इन नेगेटिव, यानी कि आउटफ्लो और भी ज्यादा बढ़ चुका है. दैट मीन्स एफडीआई हैव रिड्यूस्ड drastically to 3.7 billion. That means people have taken out disinvested their money from the Indian market and have taken their money back to their home country. FPIs अब कम हम कह सकते हैं गिरे हैं. That means earlier it was 11.4 billion, but now it is 0.2 billion, right? So we can say it has somehow improved. It has improved. NRI deposit have increased to 5.1 billion, right? ECBs have reduced, that means our borrowings have reduced, which is a good part. We are not putting a lot of liability on our, we can say, shoulder, so that is again good. So 3.3 billion is the current inflow. And forex reserve have also reduced, right? So it is now 24.4 billion as compared to 37.7 billion. It says that reserve is decreased, but it is less than the last year. गिरे तो हैं, but it is better than the last year. Let's just move ahead. Now we are discussing the data for the April to December 2025. In the previous data, we were only discussing the quarter third data, right? Now we are discussing the April to December. April to December. इसमें कितने क्वार्टर्स आ जाते हैं आपके? 3 क्वार्टर्स आ जाते हैं. 3 quarters are being included. तो 3 quarters का डेटा है अब हमारे पास. The current account deficit stands at 30.1 billion. Earlier it was 36.6 billion. So we can say our situation has improved because we have less deficit with us. Net invisibles, ठीक है, invisibles. Invisibles क्या होते हैं? Net invisibles, इनके बारे में भी समझ लेते हैं. देखिए इनका नाम क्या है? Net invisibles. इनका नाम ऐसा क्यों रखा गया? देखिए, जब भी किसी चीज का नाम रखा जाता है, we have to understand that why such name has been given to such particular component. So they are invisible. That means we are getting some kind of money or we are paying some kind of money, but we cannot see that happening in real life. Suppose we are sending some goods. So we can see that goods being transmitting through the ports. हम ports में we can see that a particular good is being physically sent to abroad. But if you are getting some interest or dividend for the investment you made, if you have get some kind of, we can say, you have paid for the services. Now services cannot be seen, right? So these are net invisibles. Whatever you have paid and received for the invisibles are going to be your net invisibles, right? So that stands positive. That is 221.5 billion as compared to 191 billion, which is showing increase. So it is a good trend. Net FDI flows. कितना FDI और आया है और गया है? That means FDI entered and FDI which leave the country, that have left the country. वो कितना है? 3 billion है. It is positive, which is better than previous year. FPIs कितने हैं? It is negative at 4.3 billion, which is bad as compared to the previous year, that is 9.4 billion. Turned to outflow. That means people have taken their money and booked their profit and they have taken the investment with them to their home country. Forex reserve और भी ज्यादा गिर चुका है as compared to previous year 3 quarters का data. It was 13.8 billion and now it is 30.8 billion, which is very bad. It is depleting day by day. So with this, we are done with the questions. We are done with the 3 news, and screenshot these, we can say, question that is there. And once you get this PDF, you are going to get we can say, the answers as well. At the end of this PPT, I have put the answers as well. This is question 2, which is asking the LTV ratio for the SGBs. And the first question was, for the minimum haircut required for equity collateral? Very important question, right? And this is for the SGBs. What is the LTV for the SGBs? And then there is last question for the third question, that is SEBI custodian से एक question पूछा गया है and they are asking that custodian undertakings financial services which are not regulated by the SEBI must conduct such activities through which of the following? So these are the option. I hope you can solve these questions, right? Let me see how many of you can answer these questions. Okay, can you answer this? Yes, PDF will be uploaded on the Telegram group in a day or 2 days. पिछले वीडियो का भी I know रहता है, but it will be uploaded. Once it will be uploaded, these two जो left over हैं आपके due हैं, ये एक बार upload हो जाए उसके बाद regularly after the class it will be uploaded regularly, right? मैं दे दूंगी PDF. Try to answer this. Try to answer question number 3. Question number 3B. Good, great. Great. At the end, you can see the answers. I have put all the answers. So once you get the PPT or this PDF, you can answer it. Okay. Question number 2, you can answer in the you can say in the comments as well. Okay. Under the revised norms, what is the LTV ratio allowed for the loan against the SGBs? What is the right answer in this case? Come on, guys, participate. How will you handle the finance current affairs? These are so technical. If you are not going to participate in your question answer session, how will you remember these things? Now you might see that these are just question, right? The other person will ask or some other person will answer it eventually, but you are not, right? So you are not participating. You are not going to remember these transactions, or we can say not going to remember these small details, right? So do answer it. Do participate. Okay, this helps a lot. I even tell my students in the classes कि आप जितना ज्यादा participate करते हैं, it help you remember that fact कि मैम ने मुझे वहां टोका था कि ये आंसर गलत है, right? So you remember it even during the examination. Okay, let's see. C. Yes, 60% is the right answer for the sovereign gold bond. This is the LTV. Okay, what is the haircut required for the equity collateral? Yes, one last question, everyone. Participate. Great. Good, Mohit. Good. Okay. Manish has also said the right answer. Good, Sonika. Good, Manish. Okay, right. D is the right answer. 40% is the haircut. 40% is the haircut. Right? So with this, we are done with the session. Share this session with other students as well. If you find it useful, they will also find it useful and help them finding the finance current affairs in a better way. And with this, we are ending our session. Best of luck, everyone. Goodbye and take care of yourself. Goodbye, everyone.